Welcome to the Nubian Spiritual Warriors Astrology Podcast.
My spiritual essence is Walamu Mudada. And this podcast is provided for those who are seeking wisdom on their journey from darkness into the light.
Kee2 Star Constellations. In learning the language of astrology, there are some basic components that you must be aware of. So one is the planetary symbols. You must be able to recognize these symbols and what planets they refer to. For example, the first one with the circle and a dot is the symbol for the sun. Let's go to astrological signs. Now, these signs, symbols, represent a particular sign. So the first one that looks like a V with a ram's horn is for Aries. Going to the astrological chart, you must be able to identify an astrological chart where the planets are positioned and what house they go in. In other words, where does the planetary symbol go? Number one, what's the astrological sign for that house? Going to astro houses. Each house covers a certain domain of life. And there's key words that go for each house. You must learn at least one key word for each house. This will help you in your analysis. So, for example, the first house deals with self, personality. If I was to look at a keyword for that first house, just one word, I would probably say self. And so on and so forth for all the other astrological houses. Identify one key word that relate to that house. Later on, you'll be able to do more than just one keyword. You'll be able to name several different keywords or attributes for that house. 5 is the astrological patterns. These are patterns that you will frequently see in a chart. And they help you in a quick analysis or interpretation of the chart. So the first pattern is called the seesaw. The next pattern is called the bow. And as you look at that bow pattern, you can see like all of the planets are fitting within what you might say a bowl or within 6 houses. In this particular example, the 6 houses are to the right, but the 6 houses can be to any part of the chart. It could be to the left, or it could be just like at the very bottom of the lower hemisphere of the chart. But either way it goes, the bowl, the planets only cover 6 houses. And it's like 1 or 2 planets for each house. When you see that pattern, it has a certain connotation. The astrological aspects These aspects indicate the form of communication that is going on between two planets. Say the first symbol that you see is a conjunction. That indicates that the planets are right next to each other. I like to use a orb of 0 to 5 degrees. So that's how close they may be. The next aspect is called a sextile. That means that the two planets are at least 60 degrees from each other, or somewhere within the range of 60 degrees. That's a sextile. And so on for the other planets as well. The square, the trine, and the opposition. It indicates how many degrees they are away from each other. Now, these degrees also indicate the flow of communication. With a conjunction, the flow of communication is direct. They're right next to each other. With a sextile, they're at a 60-degree angle, but they still can communicate easily, and the flow of communication is easy. Now, when you get to a square, it's a tension. It's just like one person might be around the corner. So imagine trying to communicate to somebody that's around the corner that you can't see. That brings in the tension. The trine, 120 degrees, is the easy flowing communication, and the opposition brings in some tension. With the opposition, the person or the planet is at one end of the chart, and the other planet is at the far end of the chart, 180 degrees from each other, the furthest distance they can be from each other. So you can see how the communication could be interfered with right there, or not harmonious. Then we go to the lunar nodes. The first one you see is the south node. The south node indicates your past life experiences and understandings. The second one to the right is the north node. The north node indicates what is your mission for this lifetime? What are you supposed to be doing for this lifetime? See, so that's the south and north node. As I mentioned earlier, that once you are able to construct an astro chart, then the next assignment is to put the planet and the signs in the right position. As you see here, let's look at the first house. In the first house, we have the planetary symbol for Mars, and the sign that's associated with that first house is Aries. Going down to the second house, the planetary symbol for that second house is Venus. And the sign that's associated with that second house is Taurus. Once you know how to put those particular planets and signs in the house, you're well on your way. Another thing I would like to add to your understanding is the ascendant, rising sign, or sometimes referred to, and you'll see it on the chart as the ASC. Or sometimes it's just, you'll see it as the AS. The ascendant sign reflects your physical appearance, your personality, your aura, and your social as well as your self-perception. It also structures the houses in your chart. Based on your ascendant, the following houses proceed. For example, if your ascendant or first house is Scorpio, the sign that rules your second house will be Sagittarius. This is why your time of birth is important. It indicates what sign was on the ascendant when you were born. As we take a look at the chart or the diagram, you'll see that the ascendant is in Pisces. That's the sign for that first house. After Pisces, then we go to Aries. Aries follows Pisces. And from there, the third house will be Taurus. Taurus, that sign follows Aries. So the ascendant begins or starts the order in which the signs will appear on the chart. Now, on the next podcast, we will begin to analyze this particular chart of a famous celebrity. Or I could say a famous leader or historian. As we look at the ascendant, the first house, the sign that's on that first house is Virgo. After Virgo, then the next sign for the second house is Libra. So we'll delve deeper into that on the next podcast. But I want to introduce the concept of the ascendant. Now, your assignment until the next podcast is this. What sign is on the ascendant of the first house? Going back to that chart that I referred to. What key words represents the first house? What signs are in the remaining houses? What key word represents each house? What does it tell you when that sign holds the energy of the house? So these are some things I'd like for you to ponder until our next podcast.
Assume the position. It may be with your feet flat on the floor and your spine erect. It may be in a yoga position. Whatever position you assume, your spine is erect. Now gently close your eyes, for you are going on an inner journey. And this inner journey begins with the breath. So as you inhale, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body, to the top of your head. And on exhalation, it showers out the top of your head like a fountain, returning to the earth. Again, on inhalation, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body to the top of your head. And on exhalation, this energy showers out the top of your head like a fountain,
Kee2 star constellations. Kee2 star constellations is a family affair. As a family or an individual, learn the ancient science of astronomy, astrology, numerology, and sacred geometry. The lessons are basic and engaging for all ages. They are insightful and empowering. Kee2 star constellation.